Hey guys, it's Andrea with Notebooks Given. Today is going to be a something different day. I am going to go over my sinking funds. I kind of wanted to do this like a end of the month review. I've never really done this type of video before, but I did find this template on the printable plans on Etsy. And so I wanted to see if I can try and use this to maybe help show people as far as like how keeping track of your sinking funds is super important as far as making sure that you are within your budget, because most of the time with sinking funds, they're not usual, like, I guess, like dollar amounts, or like not dollar amounts. They're not something that you normally go to as far as like almost everyday spending, like food or gas or anything. And so this is just me just tracking my progress and just seeing if I like it. I might continue it on, I might not, just depends. But these are the sinking funds that I am, totally fine with sharing and just showing like whatever progress I can make. And so we'll try this out and I'll get you guys zoom in and we'll get started. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so the first sinking fund that I have an auto bucket, or like a vehicle maintenance bucket. And so that's going to be that one. I was contemplating having these already pre-written, but I guess it's not going to matter now since it's already going to be written on it. But for auto, I think because right now I have my car paid off, thankfully, and my car is pretty reliable, thankfully. Right now, I don't put too much towards auto, but whatever amount that I do put towards it is either usually for like maintenance, oil changes, what have you, or it could also potentially be a down payment for a car, or working towards a down payment for a new car in case we ever do need to get one. So for auto, I mean, as far as the goal goes, I would like for all these goals to be at 1,000,000, but in the meantime, I'll just have my goal be for maybe 2,000 to start off with. And so for the monthly, right now, I try to put away at least $40 a month. It's not a lot, but right now, for what I have in my auto, I feel pretty comfortable with just putting 40 away every month. And so as of the beginning of the month, I had a balance of $1,525. And what I do need to do is I also need to go over the expenses that I had for the month of April. So let me just grab that really quick and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So what I did is off camera, I just went over my paychecks and I went over the spending trackers to go over all the transactions that I had for the past month. And I just wrote down which one applied to the particular sinking fund. I would zoom out, but I kind of feel that like with it being zoomed out, you might not be able to see. And I don't want anybody to try to like zoom in on anything, so I'm hoping this works out. Let me know what you guys think as far as like if you do prefer when they're zoomed out, because whenever I see like those videos when they're zoomed out, I really can't see what's on the screen. So I was hoping this would work, but either way, still first time, so it's going to be slightly rough. Okay, so for auto, I did not have any transactions other than just from gas, but that's from a different bucket, because the gas is separate from the maintenance and potential future down for a car. And so for the first paycheck, I was able to put away $25, and then for the second paycheck, my paycheck was a little bit more than what I thought it was gonna. Well, I had a guess of what it was gonna be, but then it turned out that it was like $11 more. So then I added an extra 10 to what I had already saved for auto. So instead of it being 25, I saved 35, and I'll show that in the budget with me video, the difference as far as how much I was able to put away. So I was able to add an extra $60. And so I'm just going to have it for just the ending of the month. So for 430, I added an extra 60. so that with the 1525, my auto is now at 1585. So no negative yet, but there will be one. There will be one. Okay, next is going to be for Christmas. And Christmas, I also kind of have it as like a gift sinking fund. So in case if there's like a special occasion, it's not very often that I go out with buying gifts. I'm really bad at buying people gifts, so I'd rather just give a gift when it's something that I know that the person would like. So like for my friend, just like an example, she was switching departments for her job and it was going to be her birthday, so I sent over some flowers and it was a surprise. So like stuff like that where they're not really expecting it. I like those type of gifts, or just like spending time with the person if I can. So whenever I do dip into gifts, it's very rare. Or if I might also like hand make something. Like I'm gonna make a present for my mom for her birthday. If I can get it done for Mother's Day, that'd be great. But if not, I'll do it for her birthday. But either way, Christmas and gifts is interchangeable. So for Christmas last year, I was pretty good with having it at 1,000. So I'm thinking I should be fine with that again this year. And so for my monthly, I would at least like to keep it for, I don't know, maybe I'll just say 70 a month, because I don't really see us spending too much. So I'll just have it for 70. And then at the beginning of the month, my sinking fund was at $170. And for the first paycheck, I was able to put away 45. That extra 10, I think, was probably from a savings challenge that I had completed, plus the other 35. So then I was able to add an extra 80. So for the end of the month, the 80 plus the 170 keeps me at 250. So I'm about a quarter of the way there. That's not too bad. And I'll put more towards it as we get closer to it, but for right now it's not too much of a big priority. Next is going to be our emergency fund. I say ours because Jake has his separate savings right now that we're not married and haven't combined our finances yet, but if need be, I could go to him if I need anything and he could come to me if he needs anything. But for emergency, I'm pretty comfortable with where it's currently at right now. But for a goal in the meantime, 2,000 I'm comfortable with. It could be more. Like I said, if these could all be at $1 million, I would. But 2,000 I'm fine with in the meantime. Monthly, I would say I probably try to get around $80 to $85. More if it's closer to 90, but I'll take, the middle, 85. And at the beginning of the month, the savings bucket was at $1,260. And for us, I think, let me see, how much did I put the first time? I think the first time that was the second one. So the first one I was able to put away 50, and then the second one I was able to put away 40. So with the 90 plus the 260, right now we are sitting at $1,350 plus the 90, and I'll put that for the end of the month. Yeah, no transactions came out from that one. So that's a decent amount. Not the best, not a lot, but I'm comfortable with it. Household, this is another one where this is kind of just more for future long term. And so the goal, I would say probably 3,000 just to start off with. And monthly, I try to put in about 85 each pay period. So that's about 170. And in the beginning of the month, the balance was at $1,010.01. And so for the first paycheck, I saved $84.99 plus the second paycheck of $85. So I was able to add 169.99. Oops. So 169.99 plus the 1,010.01. So now we are at $1,180. So that's not too shabby. Now that I had the decimal, the extra decimal and all the, on that, just that one, now I have to have it for all the other ones. So yeah, okay. So that's for the household. All these could be more, but just starting off, you know, it's weird because before Jake, I didn't really take like hardcore budgeting into account, but I've changed. He's changed me for the good, you know. It's a we team now. Lily girl. Lily, I kid you not, her money, or the money for her, is so much better than for mine, but that's how it should be, because you know, she needs to be taken care of, and she's my responsibility. Her goal, I tried to keep it close to 3,000. That's, you know, if I'm able to, but I think last year she had her teeth cleaning, and then she had started having more doctor's appointments. So between like her grooming, her food, doctor's appointments, all that, she was around, I don't know, I think her teeth cleaning was like around 700. So I think for her, I'll put it at 2,800 and more because she's special. Monthly, I would like to put away 200 if I can. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. And so for the beginning of the month, Lillian had she had $695.03. And for the first paycheck, I was able to save $44.97. And then she had a doctor's appointment, and that was $56.50. And then the next paycheck, I put away $126.50. So then that brought her to, wait, is that right? Hold on. So she was at $695.03. Yes. Well, actually, I'm doing the math for it. Sorry. Okay. So $44.97 was the first one. Then she had the doctor's appointment. And then I had the other paycheck for $126.50 that I was able to put away. And then we got the pet carpet cleaner. And so that was $7.49. So then that means I was able to put away $107.48. So let me write this really quick. So that plus the $695.03 leaves her with $802.51. And then for this, because that transaction hit before this upcoming paycheck, the next paycheck in my budget with me, this will even out, because if you also know me, I try to keep it all ending with a 0 or a 5 because I have the time for it apparently. So then if I'm looking at my notes really quick, Lily's gonna get $132.49, so then she'll be back, and that's just a me thing. I don't know why, it's just a me thing. Okay, next is going to be medical, the fun medical sinking fund. So for medical minimum, I'd like to keep this at my deductible, so that's $2,500. And for monthly, I'm right now able to put away $180 a month. And so at the beginning of the month, my sinking fund for medical had $2,322.28. And so in that one video where I had talked about why I was really worried about me having to wipe out, this took me like almost a whole year to get to. But thankfully, you know, the bill if I continue to put away what I'm putting away now, I'll be able to pay off the bill plus a separate bill that I have and still not have to wipe out the medical completely. I'll have to rebuild it again, which is fine, but I was at least glad I didn't have to completely wipe it out. So for that, my first deposit was for $92.72 plus the $90 from the second paycheck, and then the two bills that hit in the beginning of the month was for the this was for the emergency room visit. So that was, and I'm on a payment plan with that one. That one's $435, and I should have that paid off within the next 5 months now. And then my endoscopy bill was another $100. So that puts me at a deduct of $352.28. So I'm expecting it for me not to be in the positive for the next 6 months, but I am okay with it. It is what it is. I'm still able to save. So that, I'm just going to do the math really quick. So if I had the 92.72 plus the 90, oops, let me do this again. Sorry guys, 232.28 plus 92.72 plus 90, subtract 435, 100. Okay, so now I'm at $1,970, and it could be worse. It could be worse. Okay, on to now to self-care. So self-care, I messed up. What I did was, so I originally had all the sinking funds in my high yield savings account, but what I decided to do, because Jake and I are going to merge our savings together once we're married, we still wanted to have our own separate checking account, so that way in case if we wanted to purchase something for one another or just have our own discretionary spending that doesn't affect the budget, we would have it. And so this original account just had Lily's stuff in it, and so what I did was I did a transfer from that one to the high yield savings account, but then what I didn't take into account of was the interest, so then I wasn't able to do my pretty math like I normally do. But either way, goal for self-care, it would be cool if I was at 500. It's not really a big priority, so I'm not even going to put down what my monthly would be. It's just whatever I'm able to put away. At the begin, so then I guess, let's see, the first, I think, let's see, so my original one that I had was at $174.51, and then between the two additions, I had $20.49 for the first one, plus $20.95 for the second one, and then I had the spending for just that teeny tiny bit, so then I was able to add $16.46. And so what I'm gonna do next time, not for this paycheck but for the following paycheck, I'll get it fixed up. It's not really a big huge priority right now. I have other fish to fry. So for my self-care, I am at $190.97, and this is plenty right now. The only thing I see coming up is really coming up that I would need it is in June for my cousin's wedding, and I'd just be to get my nails done, and that's pretty much it. I don't really go all out with self-care. Last is going to be the vacation fund. This one is a kind of a high priority just because we have some fun stuff anticipating to, come up in the near future. Goal, I would say probably 2,500. We went to Scotland last year, and I think I probably spent around 2,000 in total for the flight accommodations, and we went with a group of us, so we were able to split the hostels and everything. So I didn't really I'm not much of a spender anyway as far as like souvenirs and such. But I feel comfortable with it being about 2,500, and that's also including for like when we go trips to see family, and then just other little fun trips we decide to take in state or out of state. So monthly, oof, if I this isn't hardly ever. 300 would be cool, but sometimes I just can't do it. But that's fine. That's a goal. It's a goal, right? Doesn't mean I have to meet it, but it's a goal that I can try and get to. Beginning of the month, I had, let's see, let me write that down really quick. I had $362.51. And for the first paycheck, I put $192.49, and then the second one I put $105. So I added on an additional $297.49. So then that plus 362.51, I am now at 660, which is not too shabby. And so that is pretty much it. I will get you guys all zoomed out and we'll, finish up the video. Nice. So that was a mini review of the sinking funds. I'm hoping that maybe this might help as far as another fun way of tracking your expenses. And so what I did again, just because I didn't show it on camera, was I just went through my budget sheets to see how much I put away with each paycheck, and then I went over my spending trackers to see which ones hit the sinking fund account. And so this is pretty much it. The only one that I know that is going to be in the negative is going to be medical, but hopefully that's not going to be for a long time, just like for another handful of months. So that's all I have for today, friends. The next video is going to be the budget with me, and I'm so excited because I had quite a bit to put away towards my high yield savings account. So hopefully I get to see you in that one, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Okay, bye guys.